Hey indie filmmakers, Griffin here. Today I am testing out a wireless video transmitter, the Hollyland Mars 300 Pro. There are two reasons I'm interested in a wireless video transmitter. One, I often film myself, and it's preferable to use a larger monitor not tethered to my camera. So I can walk around, set up the scene, and adjust lighting without running back and forth to check the shot. Two, this setup would allow an assistant to review the live feed from my camera, making sure I'm in focus, checking off the shot list as we go. It is possible to accomplish each with the camera's built-in Wi-Fi connection and Lumix app, but Wi-Fi is annoying. It takes several clicks through the camera's menus and through the phone to get the connection started, and then it's not very stable. With Wi-Fi, I can lose signal at 20 feet or 4 feet, and once it disconnects, there's a whole process to restart the connection on each device. There it is, I just lost signal right now. But the price point for wireless HDMI transmitters has traditionally been more than I want to spend, around $1,000. So Hollyland Technology, based in Shenzhen, China, asked me if I wanted to try out their Mars 300 Pro system, which runs $449. To make sure it could fit into my workflow, I tested out its wireless range, its battery life, and if there's much delay. Hollyland says this device can receive a 1080 60-frame video signal at a distance of up to 400 feet. So we took it out for a field test. Peter here has the transmitter, and I have the receiver here rigged up to an Atomos Ninja monitor recorder. It has a little handheld monitoring device. So I'm going to send Peter and Amy to walk around and see if the range on this thing really is 400 feet line of sight like it says it is. Amy's camera is filming 4K video, and from a distance I'm recording her 1080 signal to the Atomos. Right now the signal is flawless, and her audio is transmitted too.
Hi, let's go to these doors.
I do notice that every time Amy starts or stops recording on her end, my signal loses 4 frames. But that must be the camera interrupting its own HDMI output. So if I needed a perfectly clean signal, I would instruct the camera operator not to start and stop recording. I'm nearly 300 feet away when I pass behind this barn. Okay, I'm starting to lose signal here. I have a whole barn between us. But with the barn out of the way, the signal returns automatically. I still had a clear signal even at a distance of 413 feet. I don't even see Amy and Peter right now, but I can see them on the screen. I know I'm getting their signal. I'm still rolling on them. They're out looking at flowers somewhere. Only when I pushed it all the way up to 427 feet with the receiver on the ground, never a good location for a receiver, was I finally getting lots of beautiful signal glitch.
Here comes your dad. Go get him.
Indoors, the signal works well. I'm able to transmit across the full length of my house. The one exception is if I hide the receiver just behind my brick fireplace, I lose connection. Likewise, when I go 100 feet down the street and there's a brick wall between the transmitter and receiver, I also lose signal. For batteries, I like that these use the same L-series or NP style batteries that I use on my Atomos recorder. For the Atomos, I'm using this big 7800 milliamp hour battery, which is necessary because these really burn through battery pretty quickly. But I tried a few different sizes and found that even the 2800 milliamp battery that I'm using on the transmitter and receiver is plenty to get through my shoots. On that field test, we ran around for 28 minutes, and this battery dropped from 90% charge to 90% charge. So clearly the transmitter and receiver will be the last thing on my production to run out. I'm gonna run out of battery on the recorder and on the camera way before these do, which is nice because when you flip these things on, they do take like 10 seconds or so to find and automatically connect to each other. So you really wouldn't want to be flipping them on and off to conserve battery. It's a lot easier just to leave them on. And if you don't like batteries, they also have a USB-C port on them, which means you can power them with a wired connection. Finally, I tested the latency of the video signal. There's clearly a visible delay, but first let's see how much of that does not involve the wireless transmission. When I connect the camera directly to the Atomos Ninja via HDMI, I measure a delay of 150 milliseconds. In this 30 frame per second video, that's a delay of 4.5 frames. When I transmit wirelessly, the delay increases to 250 milliseconds, or 7.5 frames. That means the camera, the cable, and the monitor are causing most of the delay, and then 100 milliseconds is attributable to the Hollyland. So you wouldn't use this setup for gaming, but for my use case, that's an acceptable amount of lag. Other features you should know about. There are 2 ways to mount each unit, and both the transmitter and receiver have a secondary HDMI port to hook up extra monitors. I like that these are designed with a power switch rather than a button, especially when I'm wearing gloves. It's easier to flip a switch than to press and hold a button for 3 seconds. And then when I turn these on, they just find each other and pick a frequency automatically. I've never had to adjust any settings, they just work right out of the box. I hope you found this review useful, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you want to learn more, I have links to this product, the batteries, and all of the filmmaking equipment I use in the video description. Thanks for watching. Can you show me that transmitter? What does it do?